Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Gaumadi. Thank you for joining me today in America's Test Kitchen, where I look forward to sharing recipes, tips, techniques with you. And I'm so excited about today's class. We are looking at Asian dumplings today, which I love. How many of you like dumplings? When you go out to eat, Chinese food, takeout, shumai, pot stickers, so fabulous with the flavor of soy and rice vinegar, meat, scallions, cilantro. What's not to love, right? So how about if you could make them at home? That'd be really great. So we're going to learn how to do that today. We're going to make some shumai. We're going to make some shrimp pot stickers. And along the way, we are going to learn some of the techniques and the ingredients involved in Asian cooking, so that you get a grasp of those and can make these recipes easily at home. Some of them are time consuming, but they're pretty simple, and so we hope you enjoy learning about them. So before we get started on our first recipe, the shumai, we have some oil, some peanut oil that has been heating in a pan here, and I want to make sure that it's at about 300 degrees, and I'll turn it off, and we're going to make a quick chili oil. Now, you can always buy chili oil, but we like to make it at home. It's so easy. So here I have my peanut oil. I'm just going to check that it's 300 degrees, and then I'll take it off the heat. These thermopens are great because they allow you to test the temperature really easily, hold them, and see on a digital display. There we go, we're at 300 on a digital display what the temperature is, so they work really well. Alright, so that's going to come off, and I'm going to move it off the heat here. And then it just needs a few ingredients that have to go in there, and you want it to sit for about an hour or so. And what the hot oil is going to do is bloom some of those ingredients. So I have soy and sugar, which I'm going to mix, and some salt. I'm going to add that in here as well. And that's mixed. So now what we want to do is add the other ingredients as well. So I'm going to add my soy mixture to the oil. Give that a stir to mix it all in together. Put that in. Give it a good stir. You can hear that oil, can't you? And then the chili flakes. You put in more or less depending on how much you like chilies. And then our last ingredient, a peeled garlic clove. You could add 2. If you really love the flavor of garlic, you could smash it a little bit, let that flavor seep into the oil. And the oil blooms the chili flakes as well as the garlic, the hot oil. So we're going to let that just sit for about an hour or so. You can see what that looks like. It's just like the oil you get in the Chinese restaurant. Before we serve it, once it's cool, I'm just going to fish out the garlic clove, and then we can use it with our pot stickers or our shumai. There we go. Let's just take that and put that off the heat, and we'll get making the dumplings. On another burner, I have a pan of water that's simmering so that it's ready for our dumplings, which are going to be steamed. And I have that there because it doesn't necessarily work on this burner. All right, so I have a food processor here. I'm going to use that to make our grind up our meat for our shumai. So let's talk a little bit about the meat that we're using in the shumai. Shumai are traditionally made with pork and shrimp and some Chinese black mushrooms. You can get pork and shrimp, certainly you don't get the Chinese black mushrooms, so what we're using instead is some shiitake mushroom heads that are dried, that we reconstituted by putting them in water, draining them, and then mincing them up really fine. So that's the mushroom component. And then for the meat, we have pork and shrimp. And I've cut the shrimp in half to make them easier to grind in the food processor. The meat is usually pork, which has a nice fat content, which helps bind the other ingredients together as well in the dumplings. In restaurants, when they make this, they use pork shoulder, but that's a little too much for us to make pork shumai at home. So what we found is that a boneless pork cut will help us to get the fat that we need, also get the tenderness that we need from the meat, and allow us to grind up really quickly in the food processor. So that's what we're doing, and I have cut up the pieces into smaller manageable bits that will be easy for the blade of the food processor to do. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to cut up the pork, and I'm going to add that, half of that, into this, and what I'm going to do with that is make it into 1/8 inch pieces, and I'm going to grind that really fine. And then the next part, we're going to do the shoulder, and the remaining shoulder, and the shrimp in another batch. I'm going to grind that a little bit bigger, so we have larger pieces and smaller pieces, and the smaller pieces will help bind the larger chunks together and hold them together. And we want a fairly small pieces, because it's going to go into a dumpling wrapper, and you don't want big chunks in there. So everything's been minced pretty fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in just a minute. I want to wash my hands out.